welcome to our inaugural episode of Leadership Fireside Chat with May Lu Coach. That's me, and Loan Tran. That's you,
That's me. Hello, everyone.
all the way
Well,
in
really.
Vietnam and California. We are passionate about the topic of leadership, especially leadership for women, but not necessarily exclusive to that. And Luan is in Vietnam right now, working inside corporations and advising other people on leadership. And she's a leadership coach, and I work on a relationship, and one of my favorite things to do is working with relationship between CEOs and the rest of the management team or investors. So those touchy relationships stuff that happens between two people or within themselves. Anyway, I talked Luan into creating this podcast, this forum, for us to literally let our hair down
Mhm.
and talk about the underbelly of leadership or leadership coaching, leadership as something that we each embody and live in our life, and we see it in our clients, we see it inside corporations. I have had 25 years of working with corporations and individuals in coaching and leadership development, and Luan is a leader in her own right. She's a manager. I forget what your recent position is, so you'll have to jump in and share with us your background, Luan. But we really want to create an informal. That's why it's a fireside chat, even though you don't see any fire around. I can't seem to get that effect on StreamYard right now. But if we were on Zoom, I could have made some hot fire thing. But anyway, I wanted to create an informal forum for us to talk about the stuff about leadership that is hard to talk about. It's not glamorous. It's not, uh, you don't go out there and sell this stuff. However, I think when it comes to leadership, we're so used to thinking that we should follow this leader or that leader. We make up these stories about these people, and some of them, may have great impact in society, but they're terrible leaders themselves, or others who are great leaders, but they don't
Yeah.
make a lot of money. They don't bring in, billions of dollars for the company. So all of these things, how do we make peace with it? How do we understand leadership? And that's what I want to create with Luan here, is to have a real honest conversations about this topic that we love so much, which is leadership within ourselves and with our clients and the corporations that we work with, so that we have a more real conversation, more reachable and more supportive. That's what I'm hoping for.
Mm.
Jump on in, Luan. Tell us about you and why you are here, passionate about doing this with me on a Sunday morning for you.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you so much, Steve Michael, for this opportunity, and thanks everyone who are listening in. This is really perfect for me. Like it's fire is all, it's fire chat, and I've been really, really looking forward and excited about this. I have for the last around 7 years been in 5 different managerial roles, exploring, experimenting, and since this idea came up, I've been asking myself this question, and it's not easy to answer. Like, oh, that's actually what I have been talking about, this topic for so many hours and with so many people, and so curious about it and learning every day. But still, I'm like, what is leadership? What is great
Mm,
leadership? What does it mean? People define it. When I ask people, they have different, definitions of, and, understandings, right, about leadership. So yeah, this is really interesting, and I love that this is like a, get real about it, and what you mentioned is not glamorous and all of this. So it gave me also a unique opportunity to really reflect about it. Why am I so passionate about this topic, and what does it mean for me? So because that's important for me, to define, why am I passionate about this topic? What do I want to do, achieve uh, with leadership and inspiring people. Um, so yeah,
So
at the
why?
moment,
Let's
yeah.
dive right in. Why are you so passionate about this, Lon?
Okay, so I don't know. At first, I was thinking like, should I share about this? It might
Yes.
be like too sensitive,
Yes. Then you should
because
share.
yeah. Okay, so I decided, okay, let me share. It's actually not great leadership that inspired me, to enter leadership. But when I reflect, I look back, it was actually bad leadership or bad
So this is like
influence.
this is the good, the bad, and the ugly. So you're addressing the
Yes.
bad leadership. Okay, let's hear it.
Yes, yeah. So uh, I remember looking back, what really got me into leadership and enter and want to make a difference. It wasn't about, I want to become a leader or a manager. No, I saw one of my core values is equality, right, and fairness. So I saw this inequality and unfairness and all of this very like clashing and conflicts, and that was like something in me that was like, so I was like, I need to make a difference here. This
Mm.
can't be right. I don't want to see people suffering and dealing with anxiety and all of that because of bad influence, bad leadership. So I was like, I can make a difference. I can do better, and I want to change this. So that's how I actually, that's what led me into leadership. Yeah, so I just, out of one day, I said, I want to have, become, I want to have this responsibility and I want to make a difference. I want this position and this opportunity to make a difference for people. So for me, it was about making a difference for the people and the well-being of people that I was surrounded by, right?
Mm.
So it was not, maybe a typical story would be like, oh, I see great leadership and I want to become one. But actually, for me, it was an opposite thing. Yeah.
You remind me of my boss back when I used to work for corporate America. I used to work for Pacific Gas and Electric, which is a huge utility company in California, in Northern California. And
Mm,
in our company at that time, there was Michelle Silva. Oh my gosh. She was so amazing. I mean, she was the only one that I have worked for my whole entire life
mm,
that actually sat down on my first day and said, and asked me, tell me where you're going, what you want to accomplish for being here. Like, just tell me what your goal is, and then I will help you make it happen. I was like just fresh out of college, and I just sat there and I'm like, really, you care to take out a whole 15 minutes to talk to me about this? And I was just blown away. And I wasn't the only one. Everyone that works in her department
wow.
loved her, and she kept moving up and up and up and up. Now, that's good form of leadership. Everybody followed Michelle. She's the kind of leader that you would die for. And that's
Mm,
big to say in this day and age. Nowadays,
yes.
nobody die for their leaders anymore. That's Genghis Khan time, right?
Yeah.
but but with Michelle, I mean, I still remember her name, and I remember when she got promoted and I realized that she was leaving and I was staying and I have a new boss. I literally went home and put a pillow over my face that night.
Mm,
Just the whole night, I was so sad to have lost that leader. And it was really inspiring to want to grow and become like her. However, there's one thing that I saw that I was questioning, which
mm,
was it cost Michelle a lot personally. Like
mm,
she was exhausted all the time. She was always available because she was that leader that was accessible,
Yeah.
And yes, she was successful and she climbed the corporate ladder really fast. And the union loved her. Can you believe that? The union loved her. The CEO loved her. The investor loved her. The news people love her. And that's how she was able to be there for everyone.
Mm.
However, it came at a great cost to her.
Yeah.
So I do question, well, that was the good example, but then there's a bad consequence that happened to that. And she was
Yeah.
aging before
Mm.
my eyes. And I just thought, do I want to climb the corporate ladder and be like Michelle and then sacrifice my whole entire life for this thing? So there was that piece for me that it wasn't quite right for me.
Mm. No, yeah. So it is a lot about sacrifice. Yeah. So have
Does
you
it
seen
have to
that?
be? Yeah.
Does it have to be? Does it?
I think women do that. I think a lot of female leaders do that. We sacrifice at home, we sacrifice at work, we sacrifice everything, right? So I think there is a model of leadership that more
Mm.
tended to be more from the female side of sacrificing, and I think that's the ugly. I think that
Mm.
when you have to sacrifice and make yourself age sooner than you have to, uh, that makes you ugly. That qualifiers the ugly.
Yeah, like and about all the tough difficult moments where you are as a leader really like alone, you have to make tough decisions, not all the time, but there will be times where you are really alone, you can't really share much, about some really sensitive critical or things that you need to deal with on your own, and make those tough difficult decisions, and you just have to, and this it comes with leadership responsibility, it comes with that, right? So it's yeah, I think that's also like some of the like less we talked about it before is not so glamorous as people think it is, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
but I do think that for female leaders, I think there's something. Let's talk about that. Like you've seen leadership in other people and you coach them, and I
Yeah.
have too. So just to make a general statement, like what in general, what do women need to do to become better leaders? I don't even know if we should ask that question yet. Maybe we should ask the question, what is good leadership
Mm.
first?
Yeah.
And then, right, maybe in future episode we would talk about what
Women.
do women and men need to do
Yeah.
in general,
Yeah.
to become better leaders. But let's just start with the basic and not assume that we know what the hell is
Yeah.
good leadership.
Yeah, what is it,
You go,
Jay?
honey. You're in it more. No, I'm just kidding. I think there's a
Yeah.
whole long list of it, right? So let's make some qualification because
Yeah.
I think it's complex.
Yeah, I
You want to
think
go first?
it's so what I have really believe in and keep telling people, because often I would meet people like, am I qualified?
Mm,
Leadership is just such a big thing for people, many people, and they're like, no, it's just something like it's far out there, it's so difficult to reach and achieve, something like that. And I try to convey this message, and that's what I understand. Leadership is not a title, it's not a position. For me, it's all about making other people better. Influence, it's all about influence. So you can have good influence and bad influence, right? So for me, it's really about making an impact, and it's positive influence. You make other people better, in your presence, and leave that, in a sustainable, impactful way. So they would still become empowered people even though you are not there anymore. So that is for me. really, for me, when I think about great leadership, right? It's great, positive impact, and you empower people to dream more, do more, and become more. So not become more in terms of titles and all that, but become more in terms of becoming a better version of themselves, and whatever they dream about, right? And wish to achieve and become. So
So for you, leadership is an internal thing. It doesn't have to be a position. Anybody can be a leader from that place.
yeah,
And and your how you know if you're a good leader is how many people have you helped to become a better version of themselves, to achieve their goals, to accomplish these things. I totally agree with you. And so that's one characteristic of a leader, right?
mm-hmm.
Let's see. So now that you've taken that one, let me see what else I could. Well, I think a leader also is, there's so many, right? There's another thing is someone who's willing to make the hard decision when no one else around them want to make that decision.
Yeah.
And yeah, and that could be momentarily, or that could be that's your job. Your job is to, right? So you need to be able to create an environment where people around you are growing and becoming leaders for themselves, and then you also need to be making the hard decision and
Yeah.
create, and where, especially when other people around you are afraid to make that decision,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
What else? I think we have a high expectation of leadership, and I think
Yeah.
that's why a lot of people avoid leadership. They don't see themselves as
Mm.
leaders. Yeah.
Yeah.
um
I think. Yeah.
Go ahead, honey.
Go ahead. Okay, Chi. I was thinking, yeah, be what you just mentioned about making the tough decisions. Who, the leaders who can step up and make it when nobody else dare to make those decisions. So it's really much about courage, and to be brave, right, and to be strong and independent and decisive. um, yeah, I also think it's really about what was I thinking, to be bold and authentic, right, and to have integrity. I mean, for people to really see that, oh, this is a real leader, and he is authentic, and one who is leading by example. Everything that people really believe is great leadership, and they can see that in the leader, that person, then that is something that people admire, and like, oh, I wish I could do the same, something like that, right? So not only one who
Yeah,
is. Yeah.
you you make me think of the extreme case of those kind of leaders, the whistleblowers, the one who, well, the extreme case is the whistleblower, right? But even inching our way to that, like even just sitting in a meeting and said, this is not the right direction for the company, or this is not the right direction for us, or to really speak up and take a stand. That's so hard to do, so
Mm,
challenging, so scary, and it really puts you at risk, so much at risk, right?
yes.
So there's that courage and boldness and bravery that you talk about. um Okay, so let's see what else. What's another? Uh, well, I think in this world, how much money you bring in immediately put you in a leadership position. If you make if you bring in a lot of money, or have a ways to bring in a lot of money, clearly, immediately people just give you the responsibility
Yeah.
or the assumption that you are a leader. And that may or may not be, or you may or may not qualify or really do a great job at that. So there's that piece. The money plays in there. Money, education. If you're
Yeah.
from Yale or Harvard, immediately
Yeah.
people think you're a leader, and they look to you. And
Yes.
of course, color, skin, and being white male also help.
Mm, yeah.
Ah, yes. Hmm. Anyway,
So how about that, Jay? How do you think
how
about
about
that?
that, Em? Well, I think this is where the underbelly reside, right?
Mm.
So leisure is not just what we do, what the person put forth, but I also think it's the environment around that person, the society, the corporation, the work environment impose onto that person also. Either empower that person to have leadership rights or privileges
Mm.
versus environments where they just don't empower you, and that makes it a
Mm.
lot harder for you to step into leadership and really disempower you. Underbelly now, kind of
Yes,
stinky down here.
I love it. Yeah, very interesting. Because when you, I think we were talking about it the other day, right? Does it really have to be? It doesn't necessarily have to be a title or position, right? Because what we're talking about now, like with degrees and education, Harvard or Stanford or where, I, even just the very local person who is making, helping, inspiring people to go for a 5 kilometer walk, once a week. For me, that's great leadership too. I mean,
Yeah.
somebody who really like care about other people and want to, is fighting for or taking actions towards a mission or a cause. In this case, about health, it could be so many different things. So it's just that one person who is, it's beyond me. It's not only for myself, but for our community or something. Let's do something together, to make
Mhm.
our world a better place. It starts with a small things, right?
Yeah, right. So that's another leadership quality, which is the ability to move people, to mobilize people, to create a cause.
Yeah.
A lot of times, that could be a very informal leadership position, or very formal. You could really lead a cause or something, and you might not make money. That might not be, but lots of people follow you. That
Mm.
makes me think about like all these Instagram influencer, right? They're leading people, and what are we following? It just feels like hundreds and thousands of people follow a lot of YouTubers or Instagrammer and all that stuff, and some of them are just like, I don't get it. I don't get that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really, really a great topic. And yeah, same. I also like pretty lost sometimes. Like I don't get it. Like what is it that they are following? And is it maybe,
I think
fame?
in future episode we should contact these guys and have one or two on our show and talk about what's it like to be an influencer, and how do they see leadership, and what's their response, because I'm sure there's stuff behind the scene that they have to face, that people private message them and all that stuff. So I think that should be a good one. Actually, I'm looking at the time, and let's start dreaming about future episodes together. Because
Mm,
as we keep talking about this, I think about a few leaders that I know in
yeah.
my life right now, and one of them is Nicole Huguenin. She's a brilliant woman, and she just decided that she doesn't believe in capitalism the way we do it. And so she creates, or is part of this movement. Oh gosh, I forget the fancy name of it, but it's like living on gift economy. And
Mm-hmm.
she is in Hawaii. She does trailer for trailer of trash, where she collects all the things that people throw away, recycle stuff, throw away, and she has mobilized people to create new things out of it, to repurpose these things, to bring. And she also served the homeless community in Hawaii. Like they have this
Mm,
huge taking care of each other, of the homeless out there. It's been amazing. And to see what Nicole attracted to her life, and how she lives from this place of really knowing her worth and the value of her worth, that other people she allows and invite other people to support her so that she can do her work in the world. And for her to learn how to do that, that was like tremendous in the
Mm,
last few years that I've had the honor of witnessing her. So I would love to have her on the call. I know an investor, and the founder of an investing company in Vietnam that is amazing. I would love to have him on the call with us and
mm,
just do these
exciting.
chat, right? And I know
Yes.
the founder of an education company in Vietnam. She's amazing, and she has a lot of brilliant ways of thinking. She's one of those mobilizer and helper behind the scene and create oh, it's yeah, I'm barely scraping the surface of knowing. See, so anyway, that's what I'm bringing to the table. How about you?
Yeah, it's so amazing. I already like when you are listing out these people, I'm like, oh wow, I already start to know which questions do I want to ask them, but like where, how did they come up, with this mission or cause or idea of them, and what is it that keep, their drive, lit, and the fire burning and all of that, what motivate them, and how do they influence people like that. So just
Yeah,
so many questions. And like I'm super excited. I hope that they will come on soon.
of course they
Yeah.
will. We
Mm,
ask.
yes. Um, yeah. So what else? Um,
I think we should bring this to a close. This is a nice
mm,
start that we're kind of like warming up to this work here. I really
oh,
love this conversations and what we're touching, start to cultivating and start to shape this thing. So if you're watching this and you have some comments or suggestion for us, or if you know of a leader that you admire or want to know, let us know, give us a connection, and we will be happy to like bring them on and just have a down to earth conversations about leadership. And I don't want the boom bang rah rah kind of leadership. I really want to have the heart of the leader.
mm, yes,
Yeah, sounds good.
please. Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching or listening wherever you're getting access to this show. I am Mayvu Coach. You can find me at Mai, at mayvucoach.com. Although I really suck with email. I'm much better if you just text me or WhatsApp me. I'll put it in the comment section, my
That's
number.
great
You can WhatsApp
leadership.
me.
Yeah, I love it. You're
Yeah,
such a great
only
leader,
what you're good at and what you're not good at. But you can still
Yeah.
email me. Eventually, I'll find it. It's
That's
best to
really,
follow me
for
on
me, is
Facebook.
really,
Yeah.
an important element in great leadership. Be bold and be authentic, be yourself. Don't need to hide, what you're not so great at. Just, it's inspiring. That's
Yes. So,
courage.
how about you? How did they find you, honey?
You can find me at Grow with Luan on Instagram, and I have my Saturday sessions as well with different topics. So you're all very welcome to join me every week.
And how did they
Hey,
find Grow with Loan? Is it on Instagram or Facebook? I missed that part.
Grow with Luan on Instagram.
Oh, Grow with Loan on
Yes.
Instagram at Grow with Loan.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I look forward to the next conversation. We are going to try to do this every Sunday at this time, right?
Yes.
It is Saturday night at 9 p.m. California time and 11 a.m.
A.M.
Sunday Vietnam time. We look
Yes.
forward to more deeper, yummy conversation around leadership. If you are struggling with leadership, please reach out to us. Let us know. We would be happy to include your questions or your suggestion into our future episodes.
Thank you so
Namaste.
much.
Enjoy. Have
Enjoy
a great
and good
night.
night,
Have a great
Jay.
day. Bye,
Yeah.
everyone.
Bye. Bye, everyone.